Hi, boys and girls. So I'm going to start reading chapter 6 called Dr. Livingstone Fallows, and we're reading Flat Stanley. As night fell, Mr. Lambchop admitted that he could paddle no more. Stanley was too heavy. Their journey downriver was supposed to take only a few hours, but as far as Stanley could tell, they were still a long way from their destination. As strange birds chirped and the mysterious splashes occasionally erupted in the darkness around them, Stanley huddled in the bottom of the boat with Arthur. Their father squeezed in beside them. Exhausted, the Lambchop men fell asleep in a heap, their canoe adrift. The African river had defeated them. Halo, Stanley was awakened by a voice. It was a man standing on the, It was a man standing on the shore wearing high boots, khaki pants, and a brown shirt. He had a British accent. "You there, are you all right?" "Oh, thank goodness," Mr. Lambchop said under his breath. Stanley sunk his arms in the water at the back of the canoe and flicked his wrist up and down. The boat made its way slowly towards the shore. "We are looking for an archaeological site," called Mr. Lambchop. "Can you help us?" The man shaded his eyes. He walked several steps into the water and jumped back. "I say, does that boy have a flat head?" he cried as the canoe lifted onto shore. "Hello," said Stanley, drying his hands on his pants. "I'm Stanley." The man's eyes bulged. Without another word, he turned and ran into the jungle. "Hey," cried Arthur, "come back. Perhaps he's going to go get us a towel," said Mr. Lambchop. Stanley, Arthur, and Mr. Lambchop followed a well-worn path away from the water. Soon they came to a clearing dotted with canvas tents. Out of the largest tent charged a very large man with a very large white mustache. Behind him shuffled the man from the shore, who appeared to be his assistant. The large man stopped short at the sight of Stanley. He held up his hand, and his assistant walked right into it with a slap. "I'll handle this," the man with the mustache boomed. Several people emerged from other tents, including a woman clutching a camera. They gathered around curiously. The man marched up to Stanley without a word of greeting. He pulled out a ruler and measured the thickness of Stanley's head. Then he carefully wrapped him in the crown in 4 different spots, appearing to listen carefully each time. He gestured gruffly for Stanley to open his mouth. He peered inside. Finally, he tugged Stanley's ears. "Ouch," said Stanley. "Harum," the man grumbled. He turned to his audience. "I hereby pronounce this scoundrel a fraud." The woman with the camera snapped a picture. "I beg your pardon," said Stanley's father. "Don't be fooled," the man said. "This boy is not a genuine living flat Homo sapiens." "I am too," protested Stanley. "He totally is," agreed Arthur. "You should see him rolled up." Mr. Lambchop was red. "Who do you think you are?" he asked the man sharply. "I, sir, am Dr. Livingstone Fallows, the world's greatest ologist." "What's an ologist?" said Arthur. "It's everything," the man answered proudly. "Anthropologist, paleontologist, archaeologist, etc." "Well," said Mr. Lambchop, "my sons and I have traveled all the way from the United States of America in order to see a flat skull that have been discovered by real scientists in this area, and I think we'd prefer not to spend another moment with a fraud like you." The man huffed with indignity. He pointed an enormous finger in Mr. Lambchop's face. "You wouldn't say that if you saw the skull." The crowd around them murmured. Stanley's heart skipped a beat. You mean it's here? He said. The flat skull is here? They had made it at last. Please, Dr. Fellows, sir. Stanley's voice was shaking. May I see the skull? All right, boys and girls. So we're going to learn about the skull that Flat Stanley has been trying to find. They finally got to it, and it looks like there's a little bit of a conflict with Dr. Fallows, right? Okay, so we're going to continue reading tomorrow. I hope you guys can join me, and I know you guys are listening, and I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.